With his history hidden away in a home filled with music and recollections, people thought Ozzy Osbourne's wild days were ended. However, the FBI's visit to his house wasn't for nothing minor. They were searching for a secret that no one should ever discover. The spies arrived with a specific objective, and even they were stunned by what they discovered. What was concealed in Ozzy's estate that astounded the FBI and will astound you? Watch this video as we share the specifics. The find in the residence of Ozzy Osbourne. Throughout his life, Ozzy Osbourne has amassed a substantial fortune. He is among the world's most well-known rock stars. According to reports, Ozzy's net worth as of 2024 is approximately $220 million. That's a huge amount. His music provided the majority of this revenue. In addition to having a successful solo career, he was the lead singer of the heavy metal band Black Sabbath. Ozzy has sold over 100 million CDs worldwide, including both his band and solo efforts. As a result, he became extremely wealthy. One of his best-selling solo albums was Blizzard of Oz. That album sold millions of copies. The hit song Crazy Train, which became one of Ozzy's most well-known creations, was also included. But Ozzy had other sources of income than music. In the early 1900s, he and his family hosted a reality TV show called The Osbournes. The program was extremely profitable and successful. In the second season of the show, the family earned about $5 million apiece, for a total of $20 million. Ozzy also founded Ozzfest, a music festival. In 1996, Ozzfest made its debut. The festival grew significantly in size and revenue over time. Ozzfest sold over 5 million tickets and earned over $100 million by 2004. Additionally, Ozzy earned money from selling clothing, accessories, and memorabilia with his name or image. These generated almost $50 million. Ozzy was also compensated by large corporations like Guitar Hero and Samsung to collaborate with them. Some of Ozzy's money was spent on homes with his wife, Sharon. They once spent $10 million on a large Beverly Hills house. They later purchased a second huge home in Hancock Park, a lovely neighborhood in Los Angeles. It was a really old and unique house. After making repairs, they listed it for sale for $18 million. Additionally, they possess a stunning country house in Buckinghamshire, England. Ozzy and Sharon have expressed their dissatisfaction with the state of affairs in the United States and their desire to return to England. Ozzy is a vehicle enthusiast as well. Over the years, he has owned a number of fast and highly expensive vehicles. The Lamborghini Diablo, a dazzling and incredibly fast sports car, is one of his favorites. He has also owned a Rolls-Royce Phantom, a luxurious and vintage British vehicle. One of the most popular sports vehicles in the world, the Ferrari F40, is another vehicle in his collection. Ozzy has a passion for motorcycles in addition to cars. He owned a specially designed helicopter with an alligator skin seat and a cross-shaped petrol tank. Additionally, he once rode a Yamaha Banshee quad bike, but he suffered severe injuries in a 2003 crash. Despite his reputation as a raucous performer, Ozzy also enjoys some calm pastimes. He finds relaxation in gardening, which he adores. He and Sharon like spending time in the English countryside, and he enjoys collecting art, particularly modern art. Ozzy also likes to watch television series like The Walking Dead and scary films like The Exorcist. He frequently dons leather jackets, round sunglasses, and black clothing. He enjoys shepherd's pie and roast meals. In addition to his passion of animals, he had a little puppy named Rocky who died after 15 years. However, Ozzy has experienced some health issues recently. He was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease, which limits his mobility. He also needs numerous spine surgery after suffering a back injury after a fall in 2019. He stated that he underwent what he thinks will be his final operation in 2023. Despite these issues, Ozzy continues. He continues to communicate with his fans, stay strong, and spend time with his family. Although no official source has verified it, there have been rumors going around the internet since his passing that the FBI might have discovered something startling within Ozzy Osbourne's estate. While some fans think it might have to do with long-kept secrets in the music industry, others think it might have to do with something far more surprising and intimate. Did anyone really understand the suffering Ozzy was concealing behind the limelight, despite his wealth and fame? Watch this space for more. The Prince of Darkness's Grim Tribulations. One of the most well-known rock stars in the world is Ozzy Osbourne. He helped create heavy metal music and is known as the Prince of Darkness. But beneath the loud music and celebrity lies a man who has experienced a great deal of suffering. Ozzy's life hasn't been simple at all, starting with her impoverished upbringing and continuing with her battle with medications and subsequent health issues. Ozzy was born in Birmingham, England, on December 3, 1948. He shared a modest home with his parents and 5 siblings. They didn't even have an indoor toilet, and the house was packed. Money was tight and life was difficult. Ozzy struggled with dyslexia and other learning issues as a child. Because of this, he struggled in school and was frequently teased by other children. Additionally, others poked fun of his heavy Birmingham accent. Ozzy was attacked by bullies close to his school while he was only 11 years old. He lived the rest of his life with the trauma from that period. He later said that it totally messed him up, but he didn't tell anyone at the time. He didn't want his own children to bear the same burdens as he had, therefore he constantly encouraged them to speak up if something was amiss. Ozzy began using drugs and alcohol to deal with his depressing thoughts when he was 14 years old. He claimed that sorrow and suffering filled his thoughts. He attempted suicide one evening, but his father saved him just in time by returning home. He lived even though that could have been the end. Ozzy worked in factories, construction sites, and even a butcher after dropping out of school at the age of 15. He didn't enjoy any of the jobs. When he was 17, he attempted to steal clothing from a store, was apprehended, and received a 6-week prison sentence. He later claimed that he realized he didn't want to live that kind of life after being imprisoned with older guys. Ozzy was given the opportunity to pursue his passion in 1968 when he joined the band Black Sabbath. People adored the band's songs, and they became quite popular. However, the group struggled with alcohol and dangerous substance use behind the scenes. Ozzy was fired by the band in 1979 because his behavior had gotten out of hand. He expressed his hurt and claimed that he wasn't the sole pill user. Ozzy began a solo career after being expelled. In 1980, he published Blizzard of Oz, which became a huge success. He became good friends with guitarist Randy Rhoads, with whom he collaborated closely. However, Randy lost his life in a plane tragedy in 1982. While traveling, Ozzy was devastated and claimed that the incident will always be in his memory. Ozzy continued to battle addiction over time. He took a variety of medications and frequently combined them with alcohol. He discovered later that he had uncommon DNA in his body that caused him to react differently to medications. He was aware of the damage, though. He began his rehabilitation and efforts to change his life in 2006. Although his performances were renowned for their intense enthusiasm, occasionally things went awry. A fan passed away at one of his performances in 1986. That evening, there were also arrests and injuries. It served as yet another reminder to Ozzy that life was about more than simply music and stardom. It was also replete with loss and melancholy. Ozzy also had a lot of issues in his personal life. He acknowledged that he had been a lousy husband to his first wife, Riley Thelma. He cheated, took drugs, and drank excessively. Things worsened later when she was married to Sharon Osbourne. He attempted to harm her in 1989 while under the influence of drugs. After being detained, he was surprised to discover what he had done. Sharon claimed that if she had a gun, she would have shot him. Ozzy kept cheating even after that. When he sent her a message intended for another woman, Sharon discovered the truth. She was devastated. They decided to continue together even though things would never be the same when he later received therapy. Ozzy almost lost his life in a quad bike accident in 2003. He needed to be revived twice and had broken bones. He was in a coma for 8 days. Sharon was battling cancer at the same time. Their children struggled with dangerous substance usage as well, but they eventually recovered. Ozzy disclosed that he has Parkinson's disease in 2020. In addition, he had experienced a severe fall that exacerbated his agony. He claimed to have been immobilized and to have felt as though a burst of light had struck him. In February 2023, Ozzy declared his retirement from touring following years of suffering. It was one of the most difficult choices he had ever made. Ozzy Osbourne's life has been filled with suffering, loss, and surviving despite all of his success and renown. In addition to being a musical legend, he is a man who has survived many difficult struggles. How did love, especially with someone like Sharon, ever enter Ozzy's life after all he had lost and the difficult times he had experienced? Let's take a closer look. The surprising connection between Ozzy and Sharon. At the age of 18, Sharon Osbourne had her first encounter with Ozzy Osbourne. Ozzy had visited her father's workplace at the time to discuss management for Black Sabbath, his band. It wasn't love at first sight, according to Sharon. Her initial thoughts were anything from romantic. She found the band's appearance to be somewhat strange. In contrast to the American artists she was accustomed to seeing, who were consistently well-dressed, they were hairy and rugged-looking, smelled good and appeared well-groomed. She remembered being uncomfortable around them. She had never worked with musicians like them before. They had a very distinct demeanor and were from the north of England. But something shifted the same night she saw Black Sabbath play live for the first time. When she and her father went to the show, she was completely amazed by what she witnessed. The performance was so dramatic and thrilling that it had a profound effect on her. Despite the fact that the music was different from what she was accustomed to, she found herself captivated to it. It was then that she began to take an interest in Ozzy and the band. Sharon clarified that she and Ozzy didn't start dating until 1980 when asked how their relationship became serious. Since 1979, they had already been collaborating. And their business-related relationship gradually turned into a more intimate one. She said that she wasn't immediately attracted to Ozzy, but she eventually found herself drawn to her personality. She was struck by his quick-wittedness and humor, but also by his apparent openness and vulnerability. She felt something unique because of that blend of tenderness and comedy. She described him as the most charming and humorous man she had ever encountered. Life was not simple once they were married. From the start, their relationship was fraught with difficulties. Ozzy was already married and had 2 kids at the time, which was a major problem. Sharon claimed to understand why Ozzy's first wife had divorced him. It was because Ozzy had a severe drinking problem, not because of her. His first wife was no longer able to cope. According to Sharon, she would have likely made the same choice if she had been in her position. Sharon was dealing with her own issues at the same time. Her business relationship with her father had soured. The fact that her father had registered all of his businesses, tax returns, and contracts in Sharon's name created a significant issue. She later understood that was a huge mistake, but at the time she saw it as an indication that he trusted her. It was Sharon, not her father, who was held accountable when taxes or bills were not paid. In one instance, she was in significant danger when the tax authorities visited her home and covered it with yellow tape. She clarified that her father took this action in order to escape accountability and travel the world. It was a really tough period for her, even though she had to deal with the financial and legal disaster he left behind. Thus, she and Ozzy had little when they first started dating. Debts and lawsuits were chasing Sharon, and Ozzy had lost everything in his divorce. With no money and a lot of baggage from their pasts, they were at the bottom of their game when they first started dating. Nevertheless, in spite of the challenging beginnings, their bond grew stronger. Through all the highs and lows, Sharon remained faithful to Ozzy because of his distinct charm. How did Ozzy Osbourne become one of the most iconic characters in rock history after all that he had to endure, including the spotlight and his dark days? Let's investigate. Ozzy Osbourne's ascent and exciting journey. Ozzy Osbourne has led an adventurous and remarkable life. His world was filled with music, wild times, intense hardships, and unending fan devotion. He is well known for his lengthy rock and roll career, which included both happy and sad moments. In his own words, "I'm just Ozzy Osbourne, and I always will be," Ozzy describes himself. However, that brief statement does not adequately convey the extent of his rise to fame in mainstream culture and music. Ozzy claims that he feels as though he has lived 3 distinct lives over the course of more than 40 years. To be honest, he's not incorrect. Ozzy became more than just another well-known vocalist. He influenced the sound of heavy metal. Ozzy's 13 solo albums and legendary stage presence contributed significantly to the development of the metal music genre. Ozzy's love of eerie themes and terrifying tales was evident from the beginning and was incorporated into his music. He previously remarked that it was like a dream come true to be able to perform his passion of horror films from his early years. Ozzy's story of biting the head off a bat on stage is among the most bizarre in his career. It was real, but he thought someone had thrown a rubber toy bat at him. Ozzy subsequently claimed that it was a grave error and that he had to endure excruciating rabies vaccinations. His frightening image was further enhanced by that insane episode and another in which he chewed the head off a dove during a meeting of a record label. However, according to Ozzy, those events weren't planned. He had no intention of making news. He simply didn't always think clearly since he was intoxicated. Ozzy's issues with drugs and alcohol have always been transparent. He acknowledged that addiction was the cause of many of the worst events in his life. He once said, "When I'm sober, I don't walk into CBS Records and bite the head off a dove." He even went to the famous Betty Ford Rehab Center, but said he relapsed afterward. He explained how hard it was to get back to a normal life after rehab. He didn't want to be around people or face the world. Behind the fame and growing love story, what personal struggles were Sharon and Ozzy hiding from the world? Let's learn more. Love, loss, and the man behind the madness. Ozzy was frequently portrayed by the media as being even more crazy than he actually was. There was a man who cared about people beneath all the headlines. He made mistakes, but he tried to be kind. He formally retired from touring in 2023. He said he had spent nearly 50 years on the road and missed out on a lot, like watching his kids grow up. Now that he has grandkids, he just wanted to be around family more. Ozzy's impact wasn't just in music. He also became a reality TV star thanks to the Osbournes. The show gave fans a close look at his family life. Alongside his wife Sharon and their kids, Kelly and Jack, Ozzy let people see the real him at home. The show was new and bold for its time. No other rock star had ever opened up their home to the public like that. It ran for 4 seasons and introduced Ozzy to a whole new group of fans. Through everything, Sharon Osbourne was always by his side. Ozzy said she was more than his wife. She was his teammate and soulmate. Sharon also once said that being without him was unthinkable. Their love and strong bond helped carry them through all the hard times. No matter what, they faced it together. Still, Ozzy says the biggest love of his life has always been his fans. He once shared, "My audience is better than any pills, alcohol, sex, woman, or relationship. It's the best love I've had in my life." That love is what pushed him to keep going, no matter how hard things got. As long as fans wanted to see him, and he still had the strength, he would get back on stage. Ozzy Osbourne's story is one of wild moments, tough fights, and deep love from those who followed him. He may call himself just Ozzy, but to millions of people, he will always be a true legend. What do you think about what was found at the mansion of Ozzy Osbourne? Share your thoughts in the comments section below. Thank you for watching this video. We hope you found it interesting. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Click the next video shown on your screen to catch up on your favorite celebrity stories. See you there.